So we're back exploring Yanga National Park, and I'm still not 100% sure that I'm pronouncing it correctly. In a much earlier video last year or a while back when we were heading down from the Darling, we stopped off at Yanga at their wool shed and had a look around and explored the wool shed. This time we're actually heading in to check out the homestead. And like the wool shed, it actually was purchased and became a national park in 2007. Prior to that, it was a working cattle and sheep station. Actually, I think mostly sheep. But it is right on the Murrumbidgee River, and it's got its own lake. So let's get in and check this all out. Well, if you're into Australian history, travel tips, free camping, and other information about traveling around Australia with the dog, you've come to the right channel. So join us, Dougie the dog, Kevin the caravan, as we explore Australia. Well, we're going to follow this path around. Oh wow, just look at how amazing that lake is. What a spectacular view. Well, I can 100% say I was not expecting that. But we can't stay too long here because Dougie's in the caravan with the fan on. And so we're going to continue exploring. So I was reading the information about the site from the New South Wales Department of Environment. So they have a whole article about the buildings that were built here. And it said that it was actually constructed in multiple parts, and it ended up being formed into an L shape. But what I can't work out, I can see the L shape, but what I can't work out were exactly which was the part that was built first and which was the part that was built second. But I know that the kitchen area, when we find it, was the original farmstead. Okay, I want to give you a tip, guys, because I didn't realise this. So to get inside and do the self-guided tour with the key, you actually need to pick up the key in Balranald. Now you can pick it up from the visitor centre, or you can pick it up from the caravan park. But I didn't realise that when we got out here, and we're not going back into Balranald because we're heading on to Hay. But I just wanted to let you guys know that, so when you get out here, you've already got your key, so you guys can check it out on the inside. It's self-paced and it comes with an audio as well. But you can come and look at what we're looking at anytime between 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. And you can wander around and look at all the outsides, and there are buildings that are open, and there is a display in the cook's cottage, which we're going to head down and check out in a second. No ladder. Oh no, this would have been the so you make your hot water. You put it in there, you heat up. So you better. What's this one? Oh, this looks like you put naughty people in here, but I think it's refrigeration. Well, the fridge system here isn't just an old shed with machinery. It's actually really rare, and it's really fascinating. So it was installed in 1922 by pioneer meat exporter Arthur Sims. And the unit was installed here, and it was the first refrigeration system in Australia. So it was really, really an amazing undertaking to actually have chilled to near freezing temperatures in this room. I will reshoot this to be sure. Okay, so This is the old washroom. That's the old copper. That's the old copper, and we used to light the fire down the bottom and then boil the water. This has a lot of water. And the old wind machine. I'm glad we don't wash like this anymore. So British coat of arms and an Australian coat of arms. That is so cool. On a little hand with a handle. Oh, that's so cute. Just in case. There we go. Okay.
The presentation will begin shortly.
Because there's all the different wool. It's so cool.
Well, the presentation will begin shortly.
And what are we going to show on this one? Must be that screen.
Well, my name is Beverly Horton Murray, and that name comes from a past manager here, Mr. Charlie Besley, and my dad must have liked the name, and so was also my mum. So that's what they called me, and that was when I was born back on the 22nd of October 1928. And we lived on the island for a long time, and we used to, there were other Aboriginal people along the banks of the river, and then when they moved in away on account of the Southern Coast at that time, and I'm talking about mainly in the 1930s now, and so we lived there on the island, which was framed as an Aboriginal reserve in 1892, and then as I was growing up, I came 14 and 15, and then I met the manager of Yanga then, Mr. Gurdon Smith, who asked me would I like to have a ride on a racehorse. I was only about 16. So I started riding like gallopers, and I was always mad on horses, and finally I came to further moved into the station here then later years and started breaking in. Then we started fencing on the place, and they were paying this contract, they were paying this day contract, which meant they would supply all the gear, like the tractor, the paysail digger, and give us a 3 pence in a day, and we'd go out and do the work. And I started driving tractors on the place, ripping out rabbits, because rabbits, they were thick, they were really little rabbits. And so I was driving a D4 Cat, it's a little crawler tractor, and I was ripping out rabbits right around this Yanga Lake here as well. But I had to be very careful because there was lots of burials around this lake, Aboriginal artefacts and stuff like that. How did they accept you as an Aboriginal person? And I said, well, there was a lot of, I suppose, gossip and criticism and stuff like that. And then when I found out and I heard where it was coming from, I approached them, and as I said to them, if you're not working for me or under me, I said, you can get going. I said, otherwise you and I are going to have an argument. So, if they wanted to give them a week's notice or pay them on the spot to get rid of them immediately. The beauty of the Yanga country is the red ground up in that river country, might be 1,000 acres here or 600 acres here, grew a lot of the natural grasses like they grow out here on the eastern side of the property. So it was a pretty good mixture, as well as this, as I said, this water grasses in on the swamps, like Breer Swamp and Tarwilly Swamp and Beggery Swamp. It was just lush in through there. You can just imagine it, it was beautiful.
Corrugated iron canoe. Well, that's certainly different. That is
used for fishing out on the lake.
Well, fishing out on the lake is a good idea, but a corrugated iron canoe, not sure about that one. Okay, so the homestead's interesting, but we're now walking around to the other side to check out the lake, because the homestead is literally overlooking the lake. And this sign is really interesting about the lake itself. So it is linked indirectly to the Murrumbidgee River through the Yanga Creek, and it gets to be about 5 meters deep in most parts, which is really, really interesting. And there's some fascinating stuff about the history of the lake and the area here on the sign. Well, I'm just going to walk over and check out the actual lake from this beautiful viewing platform. I'll bring it back in a second. So as you're walking around, there's actually a Yanga Lake walking trail from up at the homestead where you can get right down to the lake, but not walking down there today. It's just fascinating. You can see all the remains of the old farm machinery. Not going anywhere now. But it is beautiful. Oh, they're so cute! Look at the little steeple on the top of the meat room. That is just so cute. Well guys, that's a wrap for this episode. I've hoped you enjoyed seeing Yanga National Park and exploring Yanga Homestead. It has been a great day out here, but we need to hit the road because we've still got a couple of 100 kilometres to go to our next stop. So I'll catch you in the next episode as we continue our trip. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I look forward to showing you our next destination. Yep.